today I thought I'd share something fantastical. Often I do not make the same recipe twice when I cook from this sort of magazine that I subscribe to. But if a recipe is really fantastic, it's really good, then I do it twice. And I'm going to do it twice today. And I'm going to do it for the second time today. And I'm going to show it to you. I'm very street credible. Hello. So the dish I'm going to show you is matar tofu. And I've written on it super gott, which means really super good. Super tasty. And it's like there's a recipe called Palak Paneer in Indian dishes. This is sort of it. It's a vegan version of it. And instead of using cheese, we are using tofu. And I've done something fantastic, what I always do with tofu, because I'm not really into tofu, but if you take one of these and you freeze them and then you thaw them, they are fantastic. They're very, very, very easy to sort of drain and sort of, you have to push out all the water so they can sort of taste like something else. So this is really the best I'm going to show you. What you will be needing, except the tofu, is some sugar, some crushed tomatoes, some garam masala spice, some green peas, an onion, some vegan cream, some tomato puree, and some chilies. What do you call it? Dried chilies? Chili flakes. But first we're going to start with the tofu, because that needs to be put in some press to sort of drain it from the water. Okay, people, this block of tofu has been frozen and thawed. And I'm just going to... I thought I could do that, couldn't I? God. Put it out. And look how easy. You can sort of just press this. You could never do this with sort of regular tofu. And what I do is I put a cutting board on top of it. And then I put... 5 kilos on it, and you can see the water just spurts out of it. And the good thing with getting the sort of the liquid out of the tofu is that it can sort of absorb everything else you put in it, or every other liquid you put in it. So in this way, the sort of the stew we're making will sort of just go into the tofu. And we're going to start by mincing the onion, and when it's going into a casserole or something like this, I often do this instead of sort of cutting it myself. It's so much faster. So you put some rapeseed oil in a pan, and then you put the onion in the pan. You need 2 hands for this. And while the onion is frying, you cut up the tofu into squares. So about sugar cube sizes. I don't know if you can see, but when you freeze the tofu, they sort of turn almost... looks almost like bread. I think it's the water that sort of... Anyway, they turn quite chewy. Anyway, when the onion is turning slightly translucent, you add 1/2 deciliter of tomato puree, 1 can or packet or whatever of crushed tomatoes. This is 500 deciliters, 500 milliliters, 5 deciliters, 500 grams, fuck it. But it's, usually a can, I think, is 400 or 300 or something like that. Doesn't really matter. Then you add 1 teaspoon of garam masala, damn it. And this is not in the original recipe, but I want to add 1 teaspoon of chili flakes as well, because I want it to be a little hot. Totally forgot to tell you, you also need 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. And the recipe calls for a pinch of sugar, and I said, well, teaspoon. Then you let this cook under lid for about 15 minutes on low heat. So 15 minutes done, and then you add, you add 2 deciliters of water and 200 grams of frozen green peas and the tofu. God, I can't do this. You just have to imagine it. And you let this come to boil, and let boil on low heat for about 5 more minutes. So after 5 minutes, you add 2.5 deciliters of vegan cream and let that get hot or come to boil, and then you serve. And then you add pepper and salt to taste and serve. Look at that. And I promise it tastes fantastic.